Hi and welcome to Tracing Part 2. In this part we're going to talk about black and white images and the options you have to improve them. First of all, let's talk about the templates you are using for this task. Now, this one here is a very tiny image, the sort of which you have typically on a website, for instance. So, this is a bad template for auto tracing. So auto tracing in Illustrator, you can find it up here. You can image trace it, but it's best to go to Window and then image trace, and there are all the options. Let's just take a look at what we can get from this image. And I'm going to hit the auto button. And you already see, well, this didn't turn out as expected, because when we look at this, we interpret a lot into it. We see something that actually is not there. And Illustrator tells us that it's not there by giving us this result, which is bad. And you see, this should just be black and white, and it's not. It cannot see that black and white. We can force it to. We can actually tell it to do this in black and white, and now it looks like this. And we can improve some of the options, but there's not enough in this to get better results. So the first thing is you need a quality template to begin with. So this is a larger version. You do not need a huge version, because when it's too large, then Illustrator will give you errors that it's too large, and maybe it will do it anyway, but it might take longer and the results will not necessarily be better. So, same thing. You can just hit that button. Another thing about the template. You see, this is a circle. It's based on a circle, and you see the image is slightly larger. And I would always recommend, when you have a circle or something that has round edges, leave a little white space around that. You will get better results at those edges. Let's click this button, and you see this time Illustrator finds two colors in that automatically. And now we can talk about the things that can be adjusted in here. We already see the result, and you see when you zoom in that these are not very nice. So we can go into the advanced options and then set this up. And now you have to make a decision, because auto tracing always means you have to decide between a very precise tracing or smooth paths. You cannot have both in auto trace. So if we set this to high, which will then give high fidelity, then you see Illustrator actually tries to trace around all these pixels. We can show the template, and you see it has all these pixels along the edges, and Illustrator tries to follow them precisely, and that does not work. So we cannot select high. We need to take that to the left, to low. Not to very low, because that won't work either. So you have to adjust that so that we get this nice edge around this. The next thing is about the corners. And we have corners everywhere. So let's take a look at that. You see, these are all corners. And the corners, we need to have more than that. And you see, now we get a corner here as well. So this is about when lines meet at a certain angle. Do we get a corner point, or do we get a curve? And in this case, we need to set that to very high, because we have also these. And you see, these already Illustrator doesn't treat as corners. And now the next thing is the noise. Now this is to suppress scanning errors, little things. There aren't a lot of little things, but you see that this already is not traced, and we have to get this lower. So there you set up how many same colored pixels neighboring there need to be in order to make a shape. So that's that. Now, since we also have straight lines in this, we have curves and we have straight lines, you can try if snap curves to lines gives you a better result. That might get tricky actually, because we don't want these to be straight. So without it, we get the better result in this case. Now the next thing is we need the white outside, but we don't want to have it as a result, so we can check ignore color, and white is the default, and then it gets ignored, so we don't get it as a result. And that's basically it in this case. Now we have traced this, and when you select it, you see image tracing. Let's check this out. We're going into outline view, and you see there are no paths. Now where are they? We have just traced it. And let's go back into the preview. The paths will only appear when you expand this. So let's go to expand, and then let's check this out again. There are the paths. You also see there are a lot of points in this where there shouldn't be points, and this is something you can clean up afterwards. So you can take the lasso tool, and maybe up here there shouldn't be points. You can encircle them and delete them and see that you can improve the result. Let's get back to here. This one is the same image. It's a little blurred, which might happen with your templates. So then we just make this a black and white trace. And what you can then do in order to get the white in there is use the threshold. So let's get this to less, and you see then that trace can be improved. It would be better to have a template which is not blurred, but that's a slider you can use to improve your results. So these are black and white images.